guess this would be a really good place to pivot and sort of ask, and we two roads, right? Um, because I thought, I don't know if y'all got to catch Ye and Rogan's dialogue. I thought it was informative, and there were some really good takes in there.
Joe
But
Rogan?
yeah,
Oh,
um, but for and this is weird to say, but I'm gonna go for bang for your buck as far as like time and investing in sort of having a larger, clearer, matured thought process. The Chappelle Letterman conversation did what the Rogan interview did in 3 hours. That one did it in 45 or whatever. Um,
bro, that guy, whenever he talks, man, it is straight to the point.
and so I
There's nothing missing in it.
at
Like
all. That is,
every
thank you,
single
Gina.
word is for a reason.
That was my point. I was trying to figure out how to say exactly that. It's so straight to the point, and I think youth has this, and youth meaning like especially where I'm at. Like, granted, I'm getting older, but there's a lot more maturing to do. So I'll say immaturity. Immaturity leans on stuffing stats, if you will, and saying hella shit. To whereas maturity and wisdom does everything you trying to do in fewer words. So there's no terrain to confuse nothing I said. Nothing. And it also is real patient and not so dependent upon being right in the present. It's 100% attached to inclusivity in the future, right? So you may say some shit right now that's going to cause you some discomfort and impact your popularity or your status. But what that'll do for inclusivity in the future is way more valuable than your fucking status and your popularity or your how close you are to being famous in real time, bro. Like I that's what I felt watching Dave speak. Um, he's 100% playing a futuristic game, but he's so present. He has the ability to be extremely present, and but ultimately his words are carving out more terrain to include way more people in on the conversation in the future and bring people together that didn't know that they were divided. Like there are people that don't know that they harness certain stereotypes or certain so oh what's the word guys these oh man I can't even think of the word but these how we these assumptions about other these prejudices, there we go, these prejudices about other people, we don't even know we possess them until we're in a space or until someone says something that makes us uncomfortable or that we don't agree with in that present moment, and now it's to hell with them, you know. And where Dave is coming from, or how he speaks, or how thoughtful, or how much depth there is, allows for you to feel offended, process it, internalize it however you want to, and then show up the next time however you want to. And then the next time you get faster, you get faster, you get faster, you get faster. And society is sort of working the opposite way, is where it's making you way more sensitive and way more emotional because the information is so polarized. To L's point last week, there's so much information, there's space to now completely go past the overstimulating us and over educating us to just giving us the wrong shit. Um, and there's no one there to clean up the dirty work on the back end to where it's like, now let's make a mess on the front end so that the back end is like clear of all the debris. So how he chooses to interact with the LGBTQ community and sort of and I don't know, it's a love language of sorts to poke fun and to invite and to ultimately invite in, you know. So that's I just thought that was dope. What
Yeah.
did either of you get to see the Rogan and Ye?
I
Uh,
didn't.
I missed the Rogan and Ye one. I,
Oh, go ahead, G.
I didn't even know that was going on.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They kind of hinted at it earlier in the week, and then really let it be known like a few hours before, and then I think it was a real flex in regards to like both of their pool that they dropped when they did on a Saturday and did the views. I think they did 3.9 yesterday.
God damn.
On a Saturday, guys. I want to think about that. Saturday, they're in Texas time, so you got to figure it's like mid-morning, just afternoon. They drop, so morning on the West Coast, late afternoon on the East Coast. God knows what, wherever in other regions, and they do 3.9 on a Saturday. When the numbers or the analytics will tell you that people, one, aren't watching anything long form, that the consumer has ADD and ain't nobody watching, listening to no long ass podcasts. That's what we hear. I don't know if you guys get that in regards to our show. It's like, why y'all do a 2-hour show? It's like, bro, there are people that tap in. Like the retention rate for our show, the average is like 35 plus right now. And then people are going back and completing it at their own pace. But even that is like, wow, there's information that you need. But Joe and Ye pull up and do they did 3 hours, y'all, and 3.9 million views in just that short amount of time. And what you can work through and the clarity and how you can double back as far as like thoughts and ideas and intent in spaces like that I believe are beautiful. But it also opens you up and exposes you. I don't know if y'all feel like this, but where we hella exposed on this long ass show. Ain't no telling what my goofy ass might say some days. And I'd be like, man, and genuinely, I felt if anybody knew me, it'd be like, bro, money don't mean no harm. But if somebody doesn't know me, tapped into this show, and we get to talking about liberals and all this shit, and like, okay, this nigga sounds wild.
Yeah.
It's like, but there's so much more context to that.
Yeah, no, the amount of times that somebody will bring up something that was said and you be completely confused, because you gotta tell me like when that was actually
said. What episode, what's the timestamp, and I got like, oh, that was just a thought in that moment, but this is how I feel now.
The context, but a good amount of it, for the most part, is like all shit that is nothing that really needs to go back on, but I can offer more information on it if you give me an understanding of like when that actually was and what mind I was in at that moment, then I could definitely help you out with understanding what exactly I was talking about.
And that's what Ye and Rogan attempted to do with the slavery as a choice thing. And immediately that clip came out, started to go viral, and Van Lathan retweeted and said, I was there. That is not, Van retweeted it and said, I was there. That is not how that happened. And so Van's 100% true. He was there. Nobody can tell him how he was supposed to feel or none of that. I'm rolling.
Van was at the show?
Van, he was, because Ye said the slavery was a choice shit at TMZ. That's when Van.
Van was actually on, like, he commented on it then.
Rogan asked Ye about it, or no, he didn't even ask him. He was asking about something else, and Ye looped that back in and was going. And Rogan went, "Oh, so you didn't mean people being stolen from islands on ships and all that was a choice. You meant making decisions that would put you in confinement is a choice." And he was like, yeah, that's why I posted my contract that had 10 other contracts inside of it. I made a choice to leverage all of that shit for fame, to leverage with the labels. And so for me, I guess I heard accountability in that, but so many people heard backpedaling or trying to sort of dress up such a shitty real-time comment And I genuinely heard someone taking accountability for the choices they made in the modern era to still be enslaved mentally, and how that can happen, and how we're still making those choices whether we know it or not, right? Um, I don't know, bro. It was a real fascinating it was a real fascinating exchange. I do enjoy the way both of those gentlemen work through things. I also enjoy the duality and the spectrum of, you know, Rogan sort of identifying as an everyday dude who works really hard, who's dependent upon luck, and Ye sort of balancing with this God complex and subscription to spirituality. Like it's real fascinating because both of them are living in both of them are displaying, for me at least, both of them are displaying this real thin line and this real delicate balance, with Joe subscribing to just doing the work, but also going, I'm still kind of lucky. And then Ye going, nah, I give all honor and thanks to God, but I'm working in unison with God, you know, type shit. It's fun. It's really funny how both of those are totally two opposite ends in the spectrum, but so the same fucking thing, and why they seem to hit it off so well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
I didn't.
I wonder if, like, this is a question for the group, but I wonder if that may be like the Van Lathan thing. There could it be that it's due to being in a certain position where you have to, or you tend to decide to look at and listen to a lot of the public in your line of work, that will then, uh, I guess, push your views a little bit stronger. So, like, if Van heard something a certain type of way, he would have to respond on the button, because he's somebody that would be looking at his comments a lot more often than a Ye would, maybe. So when Ye says something, he probably doesn't realize that he said it to the extent of what he said it to, or how it's being viewed from the public just yet, because Ye basically hears what Ye says. Did I lose somebody?
Um,
Yeah, I got Lex twice. So I guess we lost buddy.
oh, there he goes.
You back. I'll hit Bach.
But he's muted.
You still on
Did
mute
it
though.
did it did it kick y'all out or did it stay?
We
No,
stayed.
we stayed. You was
Oh,
gone.
okay, cool. Okay, cool. I thought I was, nigga, I had a panic. I was like, not again, bro. Even on Zoom, niggas can't get it off. Like this is getting out of hand, yo.
Yeah, man. We about to be cursed, fellas.
Good night. I
Who
was
put the
about to
juju
say,
on us? Who put the bad
man.
juju on us?
OG, chopping up game too hard.
Hey,
Hey, G, but I hate that it did it right there, because you was getting to it. Do you please tell me you kind of remember what you were saying?
yeah. No, I was saying that could it be possible that the way that Van heard it is, in a way that he's held on to it, has a lot to do with the fact that he reads and listens to the general public a lot more than Ye would, or Ye would know. So when Ye says something, he says it from a space of, this is how I feel, this is what I'm mulling over, um, and take it as is. But I have room eventually to maybe have a change stance. But as of right now, this is how I'm rolling. But not hearing what the backfire is from the public, so can continue
What
to do
is?
it that way.
I think you onto something, G. What is the backlash really, right? So again, it's kind of like that idea, like it's gonna cost you some shit up front. You're gonna have to leverage the idea of being popular and say some radical shit, and sort of invoke radical change. Like, you're gonna have to say something. You're gonna have to really push the meter. I don't know if you can really do that with the idea of wanting to remain popular or remain cool.
Mm-hmm.
to force, force a different type of dialogue. And there is this need, and I don't want to completely shit on the church, but I do believe it was built in the church to sort of share, that we have a comfort around people who present, at the very least, present themselves.
I think we lost you again, man.
Yeah.
Whether that's, you lost me?
Yeah, we lost you for a second.
Back?
Back. Yeah.
Okay. There's nothing to suggest that that's an actual fact, though. There's nothing to suggest that that's an actual fact, that the people pretending to fight for us and to want our liberties, there's no way to actually, there's no fact there's no facts or information to lean on, any numbers, any analytics, none of that, any data to suggest that these things are in place for the advancement and the guaranteed for the shift in the position that Black people have in this country in particular. So that's from your Dems. That's for Green Party, any of that shit. There's nothing that suggests that they're not just as attached to capitalism as the right is. The right just ain't beating around the bush about this shit. And so now that's kind of where it's forcing us to ask these questions that we should have been asking all along. And in fairness to our leaders that have been romanticized, they, at the end of their lives, were all asking these questions exactly. Where the money at? Who had? Okay, that's who has it. The quote unquote enemy. Those who have been who have been propped up as the enemy to Black people. That's where it exists. That's who I have to go have a conversation with. Bet. And they once they begin to interact with the quote unquote enemy, there was actual solutions being thrown out as opposed to emotion. Again, emotionally driven rhetoric that had no solution as far as like propping up Black people and giving us more access to resources. So now they got to die because they figured it out that the quote unquote enemy really ain't the motherfucker you need to be worried about. It's that who is presented themselves as your ally, who has been undermining you the entire time. I don't know. I found that dialogue. I found both Letterman, Chappelle, West, and Rogan fascinating for that regard. Just for alternative means of processing. Kariga and Felicia Bailey. I talk about them all the time, but it's really because I'm getting to watch them develop a curriculum that really, really is beneficial to Black people overall. And that's really the trick, if you want to call it a trick. That really is the play, that really is the journey, is to find something, invent something, or not even invent, because I don't know if invention is the right word, but at least uncover something and nurture it to its full capacity to be able to offer Black people an alternative means to evolve. And we've never seen proper. I tell you this all the time. I've never seen nobody heal themselves, my nigga. Not the right way, or whatever that means, right or wrong. But I do know I did watch you do the work, and I don't know if there's any argument against doing the work, because the work is undefeated. Like, if you just gonna put yourself back together, my nigga, I gotta respect that more than what the final outcome is, because you doing the work. And what's to say the final outcome has actually come, but what has arisen from these beginning stages of doing the work is fucking impressive. So, and maybe that's just a singular thing that I share. I have an affinity for the process because there's so much information in the actual process that you can't really get from just presenting me the finished product of LG. Like I don't, the finished product of you does something. It has some impact, because it's another black man that has figured it out. But the court side view, nigga, of the work hit different. Cause now I can't go, now I can't sleep in, not work out, not read, and then go, man, why he get it and I didn't? Fam, you gotta miss me with that, bro. You gotta miss me with folding your arms and looking at the next man going, well, why he got this and I don't? That nigga did the work, bro.
Completely. That's all it is.
Did the work. So I'm telling Fee and Reeg, I'm like, it really, if I'm gonna be a shitty friend, a shitty partner, and just overall just a shitty individual, I don't get to be their friend for real and watch them publicly heal and do the work that it takes to heal, and not show any cowardice in that. Actually show the ultimate strength on doing it on a public platform. Like that shit, that's power. They don't want to see that. A few nights ago, we had a real heated debate about the nip shit, and I was just saying how angry I get whenever I hear racks in the middle. And I ultimately didn't articulate it well to the group. What I was trying to, in my emotionally driven statement, I was trying to say I feel responsible for the way that he died. Such because of how important his messaging was, his programming, how he was working to offer different symbolism than we've ever seen before. For him to die in such an inhumane way is it's had a lasting impact on me personally, to where you go, well, fam, if he can do the work that he did and believe the principles that he believed in and be executed and all of them be working and then be murdered in such an inhumane way, what does that mean for all of us going forward? And that's whenever I hear racks in the middle, I think of that. So it's like we're watching the video and it's like, dog, please don't turn it on. Please don't like, because he's gone. Like, granted, it's gonna live forever, but he did the way he's immortalized now is that's the cost. Like, that's the cost for meaning that much to a particular group of people. Like, you could be executed like that, disregarded, and we just move on, and then I'll just play the song and that's it. No, man, it's there's got to be more. There's somebody's got to answer for that. In my estimation, someone absolutely has to answer for that shit. And that's not even just him. Somebody has to answer for George Floyd. Somebody has to answer for Breonna Taylor. I'm not asking the district attorney to give us a solution we know he can't give because of the political structure, because of the money situation in Kentucky. That man don't have that power. So stop showing me that man face and going, that's not the, no, we got a whole larger fight, because don't nobody feel like they got to answer for just murdering black people. That's the real of it. But we always need a villain. We need a physical villain to sort of make this make sense for us. And because niggas don't believe in ghosts, they can't just subscribe to the idea that the enemy don't have a face.
Right.
They can't. It's impossible for them to even begin to wrap their mind around that. We literally can't see the motherfucker we're at war with, because they think it's Trump, and I'm like, no, it ain't it. They think it's the Trump supporters. I'm like, no, it ain't it. But now I sound like the one who has it wrong. It's like, nah, bro, we fighting something completely different. How the fuck did we get there?